the latest on the fatal shooting of a police officer in Rochester. A gunman shot and killed Officer Daryl Pearson in the line of duty. News 4's Ed Dranch dug up the suspect's history with police.
Thomas Johnson III just got out of prison last month. Johnson faces several charges, including aggravated murder. And many people are asking why he was released on parole. News 4's Ed Dranch is digging deeper into this part of the story. Ed?
And Don and Jackie, legally speaking, Johnson was allowed to be out of prison. He met all the minimums and was well behaved. But what he does outside of the bars and barbed wire is a totally different story. We now know Officer Daryl Pearson was shot once in the neck, according to this felony complaint filed against 38-year-old Thomas Johnson III. Investigators note Johnson intended to cause Pearson's death Wednesday night.
As a convicted felon, he could not legally possess a handgun in the state of New York.
Johnson was convicted of attempted robbery in 2011. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison, according to Sandra Dorley, the Monroe County District Attorney.
I think if someone is sentenced to 3 years and that's what a judge issues, then that person should be serving every moment of those 3 years.
But Johnson didn't. He was released on parole, having met the minimum sentence guideline. Johnson violated his parole last summer, however, and was sent back to prison in September 2013. Just 3 weeks ago, he was released again, listing a Salvation Army shelter as his address. Now he's back under arrest, charged in the shooting death of Officer Pearson. Do you believe that the system is working?
Well, do I believe it works? Sure, I think it works.
Former Erie County District Attorney Frank Clark says parolees are generally kept under control. If there's a violation, they go back to jail.
There's always going to be a time where that one person doesn't care, violates the terms of his parole, and you have an incident, maybe not as serious as this, but there are violations that happen all the time.
Turns out Johnson also had a warrant out for his arrest. The Department of Corrections told me he didn't show up for a parole meeting late last month, and his parole officer couldn't find him. Tonight, Johnson is still at Strong Memorial Hospital under the guard of Rochester police. John?
So, Ed, Johnson was out of prison for just 3 weeks,
Right.
and he already had a gun. How is that possible?
It's a major issue, and I asked Frank Clark about that tonight. He says guns are easy to get on the street, and there's little that we can do to stop people from getting guns on the street criminally, and he'll explain his position coming up tonight at 6.
All right. Thank you, Ed.
All right.
Thank you, Ed. Well, friends have started raising money to help Officer Pearson's wife and 2 little children. A fundraiser hosted by YouCaring.com has already raised about $20,000. We're hearing from the officer's sister, who says she wants justice.
You just senselessly killed my brother for no reason, none whatsoever. He did nothing to anybody. He was the kindest, gentlest person you'll ever know. And you took a father from his young children. They'll never ever know him. And it's just, I'm angry, but I can't focus my energy on that person. That person obviously has chosen his life, and, hopefully the justice system prevails and he gets what he deserves.
Funeral arrangements for Officer Pearson have not yet been announced.
And new